Hi guys, my name's Jan, I'm from Jim's Dog Wash. Today we've got Odin as our model here. He's a Burmese mountain dog. We're going to go through the process of a full D-shed today. Come on buddy, come on. Good boy. Yeah. Alright, so first thing we always do when we have the dogs in the trailer, put on our slip lead just so we've got full control at all times. Come here. Good boy. Just fits over his head. So now I've got full control. So with the D-shed, what you want to do first is get your rake and you just want to go through it completely to get rid of any fur that's sitting underneath and on top. So you can see how much hair I'm getting out already. You want to do that all over before you put him in the bath. And because he is so big, it does take a little while. We go all the way under, down his legs. These dogs do tend to get little burrs and little bindies stuck in them, so you want to try and get them out as well. You can see how much hair I'm getting out. All the way around, oh sorry buddy, down all legs and underneath. Alright, now the task of getting him from the table to the bath. Come on. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Always want to make sure they're attached somewhere so you've always got control. So with these dogs, their fur is quite dense. So with the hose, you want to try and get right in there so everything gets wet. And because these dogs are so big, to make my job a little bit easier, we'll do one side first, then I'll move him to the other side and then do the other side. I always spray from a distance for the head, and he's going to drink it. And we never forget the tail. And on hot days, that's good. So I'm using the Petway de-shedding shampoo today, and we want to get that right in there. This helps get rid of any of the shedding fur that's sitting underneath, and again, because he is so big, he does use a fair amount of it. And again, you want to make sure you're getting right in there, right underneath that first layer of the coat, both sides of the legs and the feet. Yeah, give me your foot, give me your foot. Good boy. We see he's got a bit of a dirty patch there, so we want to make sure we get that. Scrub that. And the head. Yes, I know. Good boy. So we do this twice on both sides, just to make sure we've got it thoroughly. And then on the second time, we use the conditioner. Good. So we want to rinse about 85% off. Since we're going to do it again. And the second time it gets a bit frothier because we're already wet. Make sure we get right underneath his belly, and that's when we find all the little hidden bits that are stuck in his coat that we want to try and get out. And this time around we'll use the conditioner so the coat comes out nice and shiny. Boy. And now we can rinse that off thoroughly. So you get the hose right in there after he shakes. So we want to get every little bit of soap out of him. Boy. You also want to think about gravity when you're doing this. If I start from down here and then go up here, all your soap's going to come down here and you're going to have to do down here again. So you can see they do absorb the soap pretty well. So you do have to make sure you rinse them pretty thoroughly. That's looking pretty good. See how spraying through there and there's no bubbles coming up. Now we're going to move him to the other side so we can do the other side. Come on, Odin. Good boy. Good boy. So we'll just rinse this side again. And we basically just do exactly the same thing we did on the other side. Make sure that the tail is completely rinsed out. Make sure his feathering is rinsed out. His back and front legs and all the hair under his belly. So we're just going to get this chest and then we'll be done. I know, come on. Alright, so I'm just going to go over him with my hands and just make sure he's completely rinsed and just sort of wring him out a little bit. See, I missed a spot right there. It's warm in here, isn't it?
It's warm, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I'm just going to do a quick towel dry over him. Nothing too dramatic. So I'm just going to put the towel over the table. The only reason I do that, when I put him up there, his feet are going to be wet. So the towel will absorb. You done? Will absorb any water where the table won't absorb, so the feet will stay wet. Where the towel's there, they'll dry off a bit. Alright, if it was a smaller dog, I would start the drying process in the bath, but it's going to be pointless with him, so I'm just going to get him straight out onto the table. You done? Come on. Alright, come on, up here. Come on. Good boy. So I always start off, this dryer has 3 different settings, so I always start off with the lowest setting, see how the dog reacts to it, and I always start the dryer off the dog so it's not startled, and then if he's okay, we go up to the second setting. If he's good, we go up to the third. Okay, so the good thing with Odin, he, unlike other mountain dogs with the species he is, his fur isn't completely dense, so it doesn't take forever to dry. So now I've almost dried one half of him, so I'm just going to go through him with the rake again, just so we make sure there's no knots and any little hangers on aren't there. In some spots, I comb him while I'm drying, because if I don't, it will create big knots, especially through here. So you can see almost some there, almost starting to form. Good boy. You can see how much hair I'm getting out. This is a fairly long process, especially for a dog this big and with this much hair. So you do have to take your time. So if you're going to do a dog like this, I would make it either your only job for the day or your last job for the day. All right. Just with the ears as well, I would never just hit the ears straight with the dryer. You've either got to put your hand underneath so it's blocking his actual ear, so it's not hurting him or it's not too loud. Or what you can do is on the outside of the ear, find the actual ear hole and stick your finger in it. Okay, so I don't know if you saw me doing it, but I was drying the inside of this leg. That way, when I turn him, that side's done, and all I have to do is this side. It saves me having to turn my wrist and hurt my wrist and all the rest. Now, you also saw him shaking his head when my dryer was up here. He doesn't like it. So basically what I would do now is either just keep persevering with him until it's dry, or if he's really gonna chuck a bit of a tantrum, I'll leave that and I'll towel dry it as best I can, because the last thing you want to do is try and stress out the dog. So that side's pretty much done. So we'll go on the other side. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to finish doing that side, and then I'm going to have to get him down here to do the back end of him because he doesn't want to stand up for me. Okay, so I'm just going to give him a brush through, see how dry he is, get out any knots that may have occurred. So you can already see the difference here than before when we started, how much better he's looking already. There's a little bindi there hiding from me. The thing with Odin's coat, it might dry quickly, but then when you brush him through, you get little hidden wet spots. Some people like to get all this feathering cut off. Personally, I think it takes away from the breed, but each to their own. Always make sure we brush out their tail. Don't sit down. Pretty much done, so I'm going to take this off because it's really hot in here. Okay. So now we're going to get this one. I'm just going to clean it out. It's the slicker. Just makes them nice and soft and shiny. Just going to do that belly. So you do have to keep cleaning your brushes throughout, else then they just don't work like they're meant to. So you can see here I didn't use the brush through here, and you can see all the knots that the dryer's made. So we need to get rid of all those. You've just got so much hair, don't you, mate? So this is all the hair that would have come out through the owner's house, which nobody likes. You can see how soft and fluffy he looks now, on this side anyway. Alright, so now we're going to attempt to turn him around and do the other side. Come on, buddy. Where you go? Where you going? Turn around. Actually, it might be easier. Come on. Come here. Come on. Back up. Good boy. Okay, so I've found a bit of a cluster of stuff here that we're going to get out. If we don't get this stuff out, it can create very large mats, and if you don't take care of them, then you have to cut them out, and then it'll leave a nice big bald patch, which we don't want. So it's important to get all these little bits and pieces out of his coat as best we can. Alright, I think we are just about dry. So you can get them to stand up sometimes. You just need to put your arm underneath their belly, in front of their back legs, and push up, and 9 times out of 10 they'll stand up. Some are just stubborn. He looks pretty dry. You can see we've got all that dirty spot under his chest. All that's gone. You can sit down now. So with these long-eared dogs, you can just brush straight over the ears. You're not going to hurt them. And we're lucky in this warm weather, it's actually dried off the head pretty nicely on its own. We always do our absolute very best to get them as dry as possible. Some very anxious dogs won't take the dryer at all. In that case, if it was me, I would go and get the owner, show them the reaction the dog was having so they know that it is the dog being a bit anxious and a bit nervous, and then speak to the owner, ask them what they would like me to do. Usually it's just a very thorough towel dry, and then book them in again within 4 weeks, and then we try again. It's just a matter of the dog. Sometimes it's me, the dog doesn't know who I am. I'm a new person. They're a little bit scared, a little bit nervous. Sometimes it's the trailer, it's a new place for them. You've just got to, you can't behave the same way for every dog. You've got to take it case by case. And sometimes the job isn't what you thought you were walking into. Some are better, some are worse. You've just got to take it job by job. All right, and lastly, because we've done our nail clip, we've done our ear clean. So lastly, Odin goes home smelling nice. Now, do you want lavender or coconut? Which one? Coconut. Good boy. So it's just a quick spray. Odin gets a little bit more because he's huge. And we'll just wipe that over. Okay. Now, before I let him go, I always tidy up a little bit. just because you don't want to be going to your next job with a trailer looking like a fur bomb's gone off inside of it. I'll always tidy up as much as I can. That'll do. Always lower your trailer, your table. And before you do anything, you always unhook him first, so you've always got control. Okay. One thing we should never forget is putting their own collar and lead back on. Now, I would generally do this up on the table, but I trust Odin not to run off on me. Okay. All right, now we can go, buddy. Go on. Good boy. Where's Mum? Okay guys, we're all done. I hope that's helped with showing you how to de-shed a larger dog. It is a lot of work, but we got it done. If you'd like to engage a Jim's Dog Wash specialist, here's your contact details, the 131 546 number or the website here. Give us a call.